Hey, I just want to say happy 30 years to Metallica's The Black Album. Now, it is called Metallica, but there was a printing error, and that's how we got the famous cover. And there's so much about this album, like you can see on the Classic Albums documentary about the Black Album, how Lars would get up at 1 in the morning, drive to the studio, and be there all day, and they'd hardly have enough sleep. Kirk Hammett waking up like early in the morning to write and play Enter Sandman, and he plays the original riff in the docker, and they talk about what instruments they used. Uh, Forever I May Roam, they used the 12-string bass. That's the big, huge plong at the start. Um, yeah, so it's a hard rock album. Through the Never is the only metal song on it. It's it's just fantastic, and I'm glad to have grown up with the Black Album. Video hits and Rage would always play. Metallica videos, we usually get The Unforgiven, and yeah, Sad But True and Enter Sandman. That was like the main video. It was really awesome. The kid getting chased by the truck and everything. Um, yeah, like, and that's how it became quotable as well, because of James always saying "yeah," and it's good for karaoke, playing games and listening to it, or going on a road trip. It will be the Black Album, and it just means so much to me. And I guess there was sort of like a foretelling of it, because Fade to Black and Metallica faded from thrash metal to hard rock for the Black Album. So there you go. And Lars was the one that thought Enter Sandman be the opening, and he sort of was the main vision of the album to put together. And I can't remember exactly where I heard or read it, but it was like someone said, leave the print front cover how it is, and everyone's like, no, that's gonna suck. And then the other person, no, that's gonna end up being iconic. And then it became one of the most iconic covers, artwork for an album. Like, there is a snake there, and you do briefly see Metallica in the top left corner, but it was dubbed the Black Album. And then Primus, they answered with the Brown Album. And Les Claypool, who auditioned for Metallica, he said the Beatles have the White Album, Metallica has the Black Album, Primus has their Brown Album. So it's crazy. And for Antipop, Primus's 1999 album, James Hetfield worked on that. So it was sort of like whole this weird connection. So that's a little bit of history of both bands. But yeah, what else can I say about the Black Album? 30 years strong. One of the biggest, best-selling albums, quintessential album. Like, anyone who knows or has heard of Metallica, that they'll probably mainly quote the Black Album and go, "Oh yeah, Enter Sandman." Then you're like, "Nah, nah. Look, that's a good album. It's a classic, but you gotta hear Seek and Destroy, Whiplash, Hit the Lights, Master of Puppets," and that person will go, "Oh yeah, I know that," and then Ride the Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Creeping Death, One, Justice for All, Blackened. See, again, so two songs from two of their main albums was like a foretelling for the Black Album. And well, AC/DC, they got more Black albums, so to speak. They got Back in Black, they got Black Ice, and all this is relevant because Metallica is played on the same stage of AC/DC and all that. It's just crazy. That's just, and I reckon AC/DC could have played a couple of songs, like they could have done Enter Sandman. But aside from all that, what could have been, what didn't happen, just yeah, happy 30 years to the Black Album. It's one of my favorite albums. A number of great songs on there. A Woofer Man is awesome. Just how it opens up. And Lars, really good drum work on this album. Some of his finest. The riffs, still great. More bass, because he didn't get on Injustice for All. Great vocals, inspiring lyrics, and as James said, nothing else matters. And that's just sad but true. Alright, everyone, I'll see you at the next reaction. And yes, being blacked out was intentional. Right, rock on.